All right, everybody. Welcome to this is actually the first episode, not of UkeTV itself, but the first episode of UkeTV Between the Strings, where we dive in, a little bit beyond the classic ukulele, itself for the ukulele players, and we talk about other things going on in the industry, talking with folks, such as retailers or historians, or in this case today we have Stephanie Epstein, who's the president of the Ukulele Kids Club. So, welcome, Stephanie. Actually, you're welcome to the first episode of UTV Between the Strings.
Thank you so much for having me. It's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, give me a little bit of background on you yourself, what you do, and your role within the Ukulele Kids Club.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Stephanie Epstein. I am a pediatric music therapist. I work down at Holtz Children's Hospital at Jackson Memorial down in Miami, Florida. I'm not a Florida girl, though. I'm originally from upstate New York. Been down here about 12 years now. And I became involved with the Ukulele Kids Club, the UKC, right after I started the music therapy program here at the hospital. So I've been involved for probably about 8.5, 9 years. So I met
Excellent.
Corey. Yeah, so I met Corey pretty early on, and he wasn't really very familiar with the field of music therapy at that point. So he came down and gave us our first donation, our first ukulele donation here. Started asking questions about music therapy, observed some music therapy sessions, and really realized like, oh wow, like these are the people that are going to get these instruments into the hands of children, and not just get the instruments into their hands, but help teach the children how to use this music for their wellness, for their healing. So that it's not just, okay, here's an instrument and here's a couple chords and now go on your way. It's, okay,
Right.
here's this tool, and now I'm going to help you use this tool for a therapeutic purpose. So
That's
that's really
amazing.
where so that's really where the field of music therapy and the UKC came together and got involved. And now we are well over 13,000 ukuleles donated to medically fragile children, teenagers, young adults, not only here in the United States, but all across the world, which is really crazy. I remember when we did our 500th ukulele back in 2015, I want to say, and that's when we did our first our first piece with NBC Nightly News, and we were celebrating 500 ukuleles,
That's
and
crazy.
that seemed like an incredible thing. And now the fact that we are well over 13,000, and and beyond, and now implementing all these other programs, is just really crazy that it's come this far in less than 10 years.
And then, what's your role as the president there?
So my role as the president is to assist our CEO, Marlene Rodriguez Wolf, with kind of helping run the organization. One of my main projects is the UKC at Home program. So this is a program that is a combination of a few different things. So the UKC resource portal, which is all ukulele resources, so chord charts, song sheets, tablature, but all of it is created by music therapists for our patients and families. So it's all simplified. It's all using the color coded apps that programs that we have that match the color coded strings on the ukuleles from Aquila Strings. So to be able to so having the resource portal, being able to offer UKC Academy classes. So these are all live Zoom classes taught by ukulele teachers, music therapists, ukulele players, to help our not only our patients and families, but also music therapists, music teachers, the ukulele community at large, to help continue their love for ukulele and continue their involvement. We also have beginner ukulele classes that are taught by music therapy students and music therapists, so that when children, they start off their ukulele music therapy journey here in the hospital, and then they go home. And a lot of these kids maybe aren't able to be able to have private one-on-one music therapy at home. A lot of states don't their insurances don't cover it yet. We're getting there, but a lot of insurances don't cover it. But also these kids, a lot of these kids are could be chronic, could be have chronic medical issues, so they can't maybe get to therapies or get to ukulele classes or lessons or groups. So we started these online live ukulele classes so that kids can continue learning and continue growing. We're also partnered with the Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts, to actually be able to offer live virtual music therapy ukulele groups with a music therapist. Um, oh my gosh, we're partnered with Uketropolis to be able to do the lessons on demand. Um,
That's
so
amazing.
so this whole UKC at Home program has really, really expanded, and we're getting ready to expand again. That should be actually we're announcing soon some really exciting developments with that. Um, so yeah, so this the UKC at Home program is something that's really, really I'm very passionate about and really excited to be able to continue bringing the power of music and the power of the ukulele to our kids and our families and our patients once they discharge and once they're home in between their sessions.
It's
Um,
amazing. I just came onto the Ukulele Kids Club maybe 9, 10 months ago. Through I think through just my growth of learning about the ukulele. I think I've known about the UKC for well over a year ago, but I got deeply involved about 9, 10 months ago. I got connected through Jay Lichty, who's one of the board members, and as we know, one of the amazing ukulele builders. I've got one of his ukes back there.
I was
Yeah, exactly.
I was lucky enough to get a Lichty ukulele, and it is just perfection.
Butter, I know. He's amazing. He's definitely one of the tops out there, and just an amazing guy. And I found out about his Rockstar program, which was actually my first donation was just I purchased one of the UKC Ukes,
Mhm.
where you buy one and then then one gets donated to the program, which is really cool. I in turn actually I would have pulled it up right now, but I actually in turn ended up donating mine to the hospital that I support. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, with what I've got back here, I don't need yet another ukulele. So I figured I would let have somebody else use it, but even as I was becoming a rock star, which for folks that don't know, that what you do is you donate $500 and you pick a hospital, and then 10 ukes get sent to. Well, that's the minimum ask, and then 10 ukes get sent to that hospital, and you can do more. But what I even didn't know then, when I did that donation, and it wasn't really until I toured the hospital, and so that's why I was going to bring it up here, is that you know it sounds obvious when you say it, but I think a lot of people maybe don't know is that these ukes, when they're donated, they are in fact those 13,000 ukes you talked about. Those are actually not just put in the hands of the children at the hospital, but the children that receive them take them home with them.
Yes, and that's one of the things that really sets this organization apart from a lot of other organizations. There's lots and lots. There's tons of incredible, incredible donations that donate instruments to to music therapists like myself and children all over the country. But the fact that these kids get to keep this instrument and continue playing it and take it home with them is really, really incredible. And I one of my favorite things to do is one of my favorite instances is when I get to tell them that this instrument is theirs to keep. Because a lot of times I won't lead with that. I'm like, okay, we're just going to use this. We'll start to learn how to play it. And I think like 9 times out of 10, by like halfway through the session, I can usually tell like, okay, yeah, like this is a kid that's really hooking onto this. They're really gonna want to keep playing this. And usually by the end of that first session, they're already like, okay, where can I get one of these? Or they're asking like, hey mom, go on Amazon and see if you can find one. Mom's already looking for them on the phone. And I get to say, well, actually, you know what? This instrument is actually yours to keep. And I explain a little bit about the UKC and just the look on their face. A lot of times they're just like, "Wait, what? No, no. What do you mean?" Because they're beautiful instruments. They're not like little toy ukuleles that you
Oh,
buy at the toy store. These are really beautifully well crafted instruments. And, when we tell them like, yeah, this is yours to keep, the reaction is just beautiful. I've had tears, like people are like, no, 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 give it to someone else. I'm like, no, no, no. You are the someone else. This is for
right,
you.
exactly. This is
Um,
the goal.
yeah, so it's, and then when I especially my patients that I work with that come in and out of the hospital a lot, they bring their instrument back with them every time they
Oh,
come
that's
in,
great.
and they're excited to show me what they've learned when they've been home. Or, I'll get emails like, "Hey, uh, I haven't really picked it up in a little while, but I really want to get back into it. Can you remind me where that website is so I can go on and find all the resources?" So it's incredible to see that it's not just a, like you said, just a one off. Here it is. It truly is a long term transformative tool.
Yeah, and that was really what that part. And then when I got to tour, I'm in Seattle, so Seattle Children's Hospital is the
Yeah.
hospital that I've worked with, and the therapists there were so great, and Marlene was here, and so we got to take a tour, and not only you think about when you think about, okay, so there's a child in the hospital in need. You think about somebody who maybe has like a, I guess the first thing that goes in my mind is like maybe like a cancer patient or something like that that comes in,
Mhm.
and you're trying to lift their spirits, maybe. What I didn't really, again, think about, and it was just part of this learning process, and I want to bring it up here today because it was so uplifting to me, is just the breadth of the types of patients that get their needs met. So it's not just a cancer type patient, but it's also psychological. It's also neurological. How do you help, the ukulele and all the dexterity and the brain to to the fingers and that kind of thing. There's so many different types of patients that get this beautiful outreach.
Yeah, and that's the incredible thing is, um, all of the different types of goals that we can address just using this one instrument. It's so cool. It's so cool to see.
Yeah. So tell me real quick about a little bit about the Ukes for Ukraine, program. I think, we talk about therapy in the hospital, but, there's also all sorts of different types of stuff. And you're talking about all these different programs that UKC has. Tell me a little about the Ukes for Ukraine, Ukes for Ukraine and the success that that's had.
Yeah, so we had some. So obviously back when the Ukraine Russia conflict began, there were so many people and children who were displaced and were refugees and had nothing and were really suffering. And so we had some music therapists and some music teachers and some other people who worked in the mental health field reach out to us that they wanted to be able to bring ukuleles and bring music to a lot of these displaced refugees, whether they were in facilities or just in staying in a home somewhere. Um, so we were able to partner with some programs over there to be able to get these instruments into their hands so that they could therefore get the instruments into the hands of children and teens and families who have been affected by this ongoing conflict. I know we thought about like, oh yeah, it kind of happened a little while ago and it's kind of, teetered off, but it's still happening today.
Yeah,
There,
yeah.
there's still tons and tons of people who are still out of their home, away from their family, away from their friends, away from everything they know. And to be able to continue helping provide at least one tool to help them cope with and deal with everything that they're going through is really really incredible that we were able to expand our mission.
And these kids over there, that are getting these youth in Ukraine, they're getting that same beautiful instrument that we were just talking about, these children in our fortunate healthcare system and in the United States. It's the same thing. I mean, these kids are getting that same benefit, um,
Mhm.
in just a completely different and unfortunately different type of dire situation. Um,
Right, right.
it's amazing. It really is amazing. So, um, well, let's spin to um, talking about just here we are, the 10th year of the UKC. I mean, yeah, exactly. Right. Like 10 years. I've only been involved for almost a year, but, I've had the fortunate opportunity to spend a lot of time chatting with Corey, who's the founder, obviously. And, he's been involved with us, obviously, since the beginning,
Mhm.
in such an interesting, way that this thing sort of created. And then here it is. It's 10 years. Kind of talk about how that's meant what that's meant to the organization, and then we'll talk about how we're celebrating
Yeah, it's fun. We're moving into our preteen years,
that.
which is which is crazy. Um, but yeah, I mean, going from especially just because I've been fortunate to be involved for so long and seeing it go from you know, I always hate to say like just donating ukuleles because it wasn't it's never just the instrument. But again, starting from we're celebrating and so excited about our 500th ukulele, and now here we are, over 13,000 ukuleles all around the world, not just in the U.S. but around the world. Um, Supporting the field of music therapy, being able to we have a whole Jared Bergman Fellowship program that helps fund music therapy programs, and the UKC at Home program and the UKC Academy, and all of this outreach we've been able to do and expanding to Youth for Ukraine, and um, just the way that this organization has been able to expand and encompass so much of 8 years ago what we thought was just a pipe dream of like, oh yeah, that would be nice, but that'll never happen. And now here we are, and it's happening in real time. It's it's really really an incredible thing to witness and to be a part of.
It's so cool, and I agree. It's just so much fun to be a part of it, and so to celebrate that, one of the things that again, learn it just amazed me. It's like, oh, this ukulele kids club, cool. You donate, and a kid in need gets a uke, and that's cool. And then you start to dive in, like you said, you talked about a lot of different programs. We've talked about a number of different things. But one of the other areas that's involved is Broadway in New York, and not just in the celebration this year that we'll talk about in a second, but there's been some involvement with the Broadway community for a little bit of time right now. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of how that
Yeah. So I am a huge musical theater Broadway nerd.
happened?
So I mean, when we started getting involved with Broadway actors, I was all in 100%, not even like dip a toe. I was like head first cannonball into this because I was just, I mean, these are two of my huge passions and loves coming together. So Abby Yaros is, she's currently in the Broadway cast of Hamilton. She knew Corey, or she had met Corey, learned about the UKC. I was like, wow, this is a really cool organization. Felt really passionate about it. And honestly, so many Broadway actors are musicians, and so many of them engage in music outside of their professional life. And a lot of them do play the ukulele. And the Broadway community is just so just selfless and entrepreneurial and always wanting to give back. And so that's kind of how this came together. And she kind of told one person, and they told one person, and they told one person. And right before the pandemic hit back in 2019, we were starting to plan the first UKC Broadway Cabaret. And it was going to be in New York, and it was going to be a bunch of Broadway actors, and to have a benefit for the organization. And then, of course, 2020 happened,
Right.
and we know what happened. So we went virtual. So we did an online virtual cabaret, which was awesome. So that happened that year. That happened the next year, and now we are finally to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. holding our first live UKC Broadway Cabaret in New York City on May 8th. And I cannot even express how excited I am. There are incredible performers. There's going to be wonderful, delicious food. It's at the Green Room 42 in New York, which is an incredible venue, not only for concerts and cabarets, but they also host a lot of benefits and
Mm.
cabarets for really incredible causes. So,
Awesome.
so this place is not only an incredible venue, but they really truly support the mission of improving the world. And so, in addition to all of that, we then have incredible items up for auction. So, if you guys definitely go online and check them out on the ukc.org/Broadway, the link to the silent auction is on there. There are a few custom, one of a kind painted ukuleles from Six, from Moulin Rouge, and from Wicked,
Wow.
as well as Dear Evan Hansen. They are, like I said, unique, one of a kind, custom painted, incredible. They are signed by the Broadway cast. So not only is it a
Wow.
beautiful instrument, it's also signed by these Broadway artists.
Wow.
So that's
Those
up
are
for
some huge shows too. Like
yeah.
that's a heavy hitter list right there.
Oh yeah. Along with the Dear Evan Hansen uke, there's also it's not quite up yet. It's going to be up probably later today or tomorrow. Um, it's kind of a group Dear Evan Hansen like fan smorgasbord, if you will, of donated by Michael Park, who was in the original
Ooh.
Broadway cast. There's one of the original playbills from when it opened, a cast photo that's all signed that went out to what they call the fansons. There's
Nice.
one of the Connor signed casts that was on stage that Ben Platt wore, as well as one of the baseballs that was on stage. That's going to be a whole package that's kind of all put together.
Ooh.
Um, so in addition to all of that, there's also tickets. There's Hamilton tickets, Wicked tickets, tickets without you, and posters and Broadway finalia, as well as ukuleles. There's a master class with Michael Park. So there's all these
Wow.
really incredible things up for auction as well. That if you're not in New York and you can't join us live, you can. There is streaming, so you can purchase a streaming ticket for only $25. And then, of course, anybody can participate in the silent auction as well.
That's fantastic. And I think, as I mean, you can see all my ukes back there. I know on top of the Broadway decorated ukes, there's also a couple of ukes from Kimo Ukulele, some
Yes,
beautiful
they are.
ukuleles.
They are
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
So if folks are
So
looking
not
for, custom, that's an option too.
hmm So not only do we have obviously some incredible Broadway stars performing, but we also have one of our incredible UKC stars. So it's actually a patient, and her family will be there, and she'll be performing and telling a little bit of her story, so that she can be on stage and be a rock star right along with the Broadway stars.
That's amazing. And also in the option for folks, just to wrap it up, just because I'm also a sports nut, there's some New
Oh,
York
I totally forgot
Yankees.
about those.
I could, we've got, the new home run king and an MVP, Aaron Judge. There's an autographed baseball from him.
Yep.
Yeah, I know there's a Yankees autographed jersey.
Yep.
Um,
There's a
yeah.
CC Sabathia, Saquon Barkley, New York Giants autographed mini helmet, and a Jonas Brothers UKC signed
Oh, right.
ukulele. They just had their their short Broadway run, their Broadway residency, and so we got a UKC uke to them, and so we have and so any Jonas Brothers fans out there, there is a Jonas Brothers signed ukulele as well.
Yeah, I think my daughters are going to be trying to push me on both the Dear Evan Hansen and the Jonas Brothers. When I saw those, I went, "Uh oh, here comes Dad's wallet."
Mhm. Mhm.
That's amazing. So, yeah, so you mentioned there's a number of ways that folks can get involved. There is the auction, obviously,
Mhm.
and then people can buy tickets, and so people can buy tickets and actually attend this. It's not just a celebration of UKC members and Broadway members and stuff. If I'm a fan, I could buy a ticket and actually come to this.
Absolutely, it is completely open to the public.
That's awesome. So yeah, folks, if you're a fan, and you're looking for a trip to New York, we're about a month away, but there's this amazing event celebrating a great cause, some Broadway stars, and actually, who what mention some of the Broadway members that are actually going to be there.
Absolutely. So Laura Benanti is headlining. She's of course Tony Award winner, Oliver
Yeah.
Award winner. You know, list of accomplishments go on and on and on. It's being hosted by Joshua Turchin. So he is just look him up on just Google him, look up his social media. He is an actor, singer, composer, music director. This kid is he's a teenager now.
Yeah.
He is just insanely talented. So he is hosting for us. There'll be performances by Michael Thatcher, Ali Trim, Tally Sessions, Chris Rice Thompson, Natalia Ardigras, Carly Gold, and Sammy Bray, and of course our incredible UKC star, um, Annabelle Liebert.
That's so cool. And for those folks, my tie towards Laura Benanti is she played Sadie Stone in Nashville. So if you're a Nashville fan, she was an amazing. She did an amazing performance in that role as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of ties there. So it's really cool. I mean, you can go, folks, you can go in person and have a great meal. And just an amazing interactive evening in New York City with Broadway folks. If you can't make it there, there is the live stream. So don't feel like, oh, I can't make it to New York City, so I can't participate in this or see these amazing people do their thing. You can watch this. Again, as Stephanie was saying, there is on the website, which we'll have the link to in this YouTube post. We'll have a link to it at the end of this on the end screen. But you can live stream this, so you can watch it and cook a delicious meal at your place, or order something in, and make an evening of it yourself. And then there's the auction. So there's a number of ways that you can participate in this incredible event to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Ukulele Kids Club. So please do consider helping out in some way, shape, or form, whether you want to make that an entertaining evening for yourself in person or virtual, or if you want to participate in the auction and pick up some amazing items that will help get more ukuleles into the hands of kids and help fund more programs like we have with the music therapists and the Ukes for Ukraine and things like that. So um, Stephanie, this has been an amazing session. I'm so happy that we got to have you on here for the first one because UKC is near and dear to my heart. I just, I didn't get to see because of COVID and things like that. I didn't get to see any of the patients, but just even just sitting with music therapists such as yourself, um, it really um, shows the dedication and the passion and just the reward that there is. Like how you guys portray to those of us that are donors, um, what that experience is like when that child gets that you can, like you said, oh, I get to keep this. I get to keep this. And they bring it back with them when they're on follow up sessions and all that. It's really 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 cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when you see it, like when you get to see it, and even like even in video, in the videos and some of the pictures that we have,
Right.
um, but when you see it, you're like, oh wow, like it's as amazing as it sounds. Take that and multiply it by like 100,
Uh-huh.
and that's how great it is to actually see in person.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. 100%. Well, I'm going to let you back to the rest of your day. I know you're super busy. Not only are you the president of UKC, but you're a music therapist yourself. So you I'm sure got an afternoon full of work to do with patients. So look, we really appreciate you being on, and folks, please do consider attending this event again, whether it's in person or virtual, or if not, participating in the auction, or if the stuff in the auction is not your cup of tea, There's numbers of ways to participate with the UKC. Again, whether it's the Rockstar Program, purchase a uke that gets a uke donated. There's so many ways. So again, we'll have the link specifically to the Broadway event, but then to the UKC overall, so that you can find all the information you need. So Stephanie, again, thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.